Well, here's another real beautiful New England buck. So it's my third day out here. Only scouted it, and this is an area that I actually scouted 2 years ago in the summer. Hiked in, did a little looking around, and yeah, so I took our cargo trailer and made the haul over. The snow was so-so, and yesterday, we had 2 days of one of 40 degrees one day, and then yesterday was 50 degrees, and then it rained. So we lost almost every bit of snow. My plan was to leave today because tomorrow we're supposed to start getting some. So I was going to hunt today. I had made a big loop, and made a big loop. Got it was about 5 miles out, and I came back down over. I had jumped some deer, and just couldn't get on them. The leaves, everything's frozen solid and crunchy, so it was really hard to get up close to deer. There also wasn't a whole lot of wind to cover your sound, so pretty hard day to track deer, but there was enough snow to see tracks. So anyway, I bumped those first two, decided that they weren't deer that I wanted to screw around with. Made my way back, kind of making my swing back towards the trail I hiked in on, and I cut his track. Not a huge hoof. Very mature buck, but they just don't have as big a hoof. They're not as big a body. He's probably 180 pounds, 175. But anyway, I found his track and followed it for a ways. He was headed the way I was going, and then he started making some scrapes, and I could just tell by his mannerisms that he was like on the move. He'd make a scrape, and then he'd kind of trot, and then he was just moving. He's looking for does. So my hope was that if I could catch up to him, maybe I catch him preoccupied, or I catch him doing a swing. Like, they'll do that. They're not just going to straight line all the time. They come into areas like this, and they might swing around, come back through. He had already been making kind of a great big circle. So anyway, we got to a brook down here and crossed out of the kind of beachy maple hardwood into the softwood, and track was gone. So I stopped right where he crossed, had a snack, and I always stop by I was by a cedar tree like that. Always lean up against a big tree like that, because you just never know. I mean, here I am on the track. I knew I was close to him. And I had a snack. I put my pack back on, and I actually grabbed a cedar limb and busted off a piece, rubbed that on me. I like to do that when I find them. And I took one step and looked to my left, kind of scanning where I was going to walk, and I see the buck coming out. So I had crossed the brook down there where I thought his track came across, and he was just like 40 yards down from me, and what he'd probably done was crossed over, made a little loop here. I was having my snack, and he just, we were in the same area, and you just, like, that's part of tracking, like staying with it even when the conditions aren't perfect, because you don't know what he's gonna do. They're very inconsistent during the rut, extremely inconsistent. I mean, for one, even if I didn't come on to the buck that I was tracking, you could come on to another deer coming the other way because he took you into him, right? So stay with it. If you don't have anything better going on during the day in terms of tracks, stay with that track. If you bust him out, maybe you get a look at him and you realize, okay, he's not a buck I want to follow in these conditions anyway. Or in a situation like this, you have an encounter with that deer and you're able to harvest him in really not great conditions. So yeah, I mean, you just got to keep charging. You got to stay with it, and just know that, you know, you're hunting intuition, and you're, you know, listening to that gut feeling, right? Like experienced hunters, even non-experienced, like we're going to have those visceral kind of like reactions to certain situations that we're in. And a lot of times, like, I'm going to be honest, as veteran as I might be, I listen to my gut a lot. I was just telling my brother that in a text message the other day. It's like, you know, it's all new to me here, but I'm going to listen to my hunter intuition. I'm going to listen to my gut, just kind of go with the flow, keep the good vibes going. And sometimes that means that, you know, you have a really nice trophy that you have an encounter with, and you have the opportunity to harvest. So yeah, now I got to get him out of here. It could be a lot worse. It's not going to be easy because I think I got to go through all this softwood. It looked kind of gnarly. I got to go up over this little ridge here, but there's not much else I'd rather be doing, you know. Pretty freaking cool. I mean, I'm pretty happy, and I'm super appreciative to the deer gods. This is really going to be really helpful, you know, meat in the freezer. Glad to already have a few, and I think that this year, we're going to be able to eat wild game meat for the entire year without having to buy any at the store, and that means so much to me. So anyway, time to get to work. Keep charging, guys.